Singleton is concerned and wishes to find out the number of customers who are leaving and is subscribing to his competitors instead. In this project, we will do an analysis on the customers who have left to better identify and predict the customers who are likely to leave next time and understand the reasons behind their action.
For 3.2.2, the read Excel and store operator was used. Read Excel is used to import data into Rapidminer and is used to load data from Microsoft Excel sheet files. Using the read Excel function, we can use the import configuration wizard to change attributes of gender, senior citizens, and all other attributes containing yes or no to binomial. Churn was also changed to a label. This is because the churn attribute will be used for prediction. Data must be obtained first before we can start analyzing. There are many ways we can import data files into Rapidminer, but this is the fastest and easiest way for us to do so. With this, we will then be able to analyze on the various attributes that causes the customer to churn and go to other competitors. The store operator stores input and output data in the data repository. Using this operator allows us to retrieve data that can be used for other processes without having to re-import the data. So after we have run the results, you can see that attributes who were previously polynomial were changed to binomial, and such examples are the gender attribute, senior citizen attribute, and mobile service attribute. The churn attribute was also changed to a label. Next, we use the retrieve operator. The retrieve operator is used to extract and retrieve data from the repositories. As this operator allows for full metadata processing, it makes it convenient and easy for us to execute this operator. This operator was chosen as it allows for fast and efficient retrieving of data. The data can be read once the data is run after connecting to the REST port. After running the process, we realized that there were some missing records in the tenure section as we did not filter the results. We can see that most of the customers with a missing tenure do not require churning. This tells us that this group of customers are staying with the company. A possible reason to explain the missing values in the tenure column in this case would be that these customers might have just signed a contract with the company. Since this is their first month with the company, there is no value for the tenure column yet as they have not met the 1 month mark. So based on the results shown above, we can see that there are 1,526 missing records for online security, TV service, device protection, and tech support attributes in the dataset. There were also 30 missing records for the tenure section and 11 missing records for the total charges section. These missing values are also identified as issues for us to fix, as it will allow.
And we will now then proceed on to use the necessary operator to fix the issues identified in task 3. First of all, we will insert the operator retrieve to retrieve the Singleton customer Excel file and connect it to the replace missing value operator. The replace missing value operator is chosen as it replaces the missing values identified earlier in examples of selected attribute by a specified replacement. Missing values can be replaced by minimum, maximum, or average value of that attribute, and the input port for replace missing value needs to have an example set, which is the retrieve operator. Retrieve operator has an extremely important role as it provides metadata along with data. Average function under default parameter is selected so that the missing value will be replaced by the average of the attribute, and the replace missing value operator replaces missing values identified by the user, and it can be replaced using 4 types of attribute: average, minimum, maximum, and 0. In this case, we are replacing the example of the attribute tenure to average tenure. We chose to use average tenure as tenure can be greatly affected by the lowest and highest tenure, and this is done to show a more meaningful and fairer comparison to predict the behavior of the customers. Filter example is often used to filter examples that have or do not have missing values, as well as with wrong or correct predictions. It is similar to replace missing value, but focuses more on selecting which example of an example set are kept and which examples are removed based on the condition set. Since there were missing data or inconsistent data entry in the tenure, internet service, online security, device protection, and tech support attributes, the filter example operator was used to remove this inconsistency. To configure a filter, we need to type the title of the attributes that I mentioned previously on the left column, and then we will use the advanced parameter to select no missing attributes in the condition class for those columns with missing values. After running the process, you can see that the third column, the values are all set to 0, which means that all the missing values of the attributes are replaced and filtered out. With that, no missing values are left and the issues of missing values are fixed. The operator used to clean the junk data is select attributes, and the select attributes operator is used to remove attributes that are not seen as a good predictor to our data set. And since not all of our attributes are required for prediction, this operator will allow us to remove the entire attributes that are not useful. The following are the attributes that we removed and we selected. We remove customers' ID, senior citizens, and total charges, and we select churn, contract, device protection, gender, internet service, mobile service, monthly charges, online security, TV service, tech support, and tenure.
For 3.4.7, we use the split data operator. So the split data operator takes an example set as its input and delivers the subset of the example set through its output ports. Split data partitions the data into subsets, and the operator can be used to make 2 or more example sets split the way I want, and we can do things we want with the split data. It allows us to zoom into the areas where we should pay attention to, aiding us to have a clearer analysis of our data set. It is done to ensure that the models created are of the right picks and prevent overfitting of the data. Overfitting of data will lead to problems such as difficulty for interpretation and analyzing. We have decided to split the data into 2 parts, namely 0.7 and 0.3, which computes up to 100% of the data. 0.7 means that 70% of our data will be used for training of the model, whereas the remaining 30% will be used for the testing of the model. This ratio was chosen because we have a large data set, and this ratio will in turn be more popular amongst the rest of the ratio. Next, using the generate attribute operator, we created an if function to remove all the 0 or 1 for senior citizens and replace them with yes or no. Total charges for each customer was also calculated. The generate attribute operator allows us to construct new attributes to generate from other attributes. The attribute names of the input example set may be used as variables in the mathematical expressions for new attributes. It also fills those columns with corresponding values of those attributes. In this case, it is used to calculate the if statement to find customer total charges. The total charges will provide a fairer and better outcome compared to monthly charges. So this shows the formulas we used.
For 3.4.8, the decision tree operator is used. It is used for classification of both nominal and numerical data. It is a tree-like graph or model that makes it easy for data interpretation. So for the parameters of decision tree, we have decided to keep all the other parameters at its default value except for minimal gain. Minimal gain has to be decreased if we want to increase the size of the decision tree. An optimal decision tree is one that is not too cluttered but informative at the same time. After trial and error, we have decided to keep it at the minimal gain level at 0.045 as it is the ideal size for our decision tree.
We will now evaluate the confusion matrix. The overall accuracy of all prediction achieved by the set is 76.01%, and there are a total of 2,113 predictions to assess the prediction metric. The performance of the model can be evaluated in the following ways. As you can see, we had a total of 1,513 plus 39 loyal candidates. When we ran the algorithm through, it predicted loyal 1,513 times, which are actual true loyals, and 39 times it predicted churn when in fact it should have been a loyal. In contrast, it predicted churn 93 times, which are actual true churn, and 468 times it predicted loyal when in fact it should have been a churn. In total, we were able to capture 97.49% of our loyal cases and 16.58% of churn cases. Another way is to look at it diagonally, which shows that the true loyal is 1,513 and true churn is 93, which gave us 76.01%. The last thing to look at is at the class precision, which shows the percent of predictions that were correct for each predicted label loyal or churn. Out of 2,113 customers, 1,605 customers will not leave Singtel. The model accurately predicted 1,513 of them, making up 97.49% of the examples. Out of 2,113 customers, 561 customers will leave Singtel. The model accurately predicted 93 of them, making up 16.58% of the example. The model predicted that 1,981 customers will not leave Singtel. 1,513 records were predicted correctly, while 468 records were predicted wrongly, making up 76.88% of the example. The model also predicted that 132 customers will leave Singtel. 93 records were predicted correctly, while 39 records were predicted wrongly, and this makes up to 70.45% of the example. If we interpret the table with focus on our churners, we are currently managing to predict 17 out of 100 true churners. On the other hand, 30 cases out of 100 churn prediction, we label them as churners who is in fact a loyal customer.
For 3.5.11, this is our decision tree. Decision tree are used for classification of the attributes. The most important variable to split is the contract. We want to find out how this first split attribute is identified by a decision tree algorithm. Based on the decision tree above, we can see that there are many criteria contributing and leading to customers leaving. Some of these attributes include internet service, tenure, and total cost of subscription. With that in mind, here are some conclusions that can be drawn from the decision tree. For our first observation, we found out that customers who have contracts with Singtel are not likely to leave. This could be because when they sign a contract, they have to fulfill contract agreements, which includes the contract period. And if they were to leave during the contract period, they will have to pay a penalty for breach of contract. For our second observation, customers who do not have contract with Singtel but have stayed with Singtel for more than 70.5 months will not leave Singtel. This customer will not leave as they are our loyal customers and are satisfied with the services provided so far. Therefore, they will be less likely to want to switch to other telco services. For our third observation with reference to the points above, Customers who stayed with Singtel for less than or equal to 70.5 months do not have internet service and is not a senior citizen and have a monthly charge of more than $24.175 will not leave Singtel. These customers may be satisfied with the price and other services such as mobile and TV services provided by Singtel and therefore do not plan to leave. For observation 4 with reference to our points above, customers who are senior citizens and have stayed with Singtel for less than or equal to 2.5 months will leave Singtel. This may be because they are new to Singtel, and since they are senior citizens, they may not be very familiar and used to Singtel services. For observation 5, with reference to our points above, customers who are senior citizens and stayed with Singtel for more than 2.5 months and have a monthly charge of more than or equal to $20 will not leave Singtel. They may be satisfied with Singtel services so far and find it affordable, therefore they will not leave. For observation 6 with reference to points above, senior citizens who have stayed with Singtel for more than 2.5 months and have a monthly charge of less than or equal to $20 are likely to leave Singtel. As these customers are senior citizens, they may not find a need to subscribe to Singtel services anymore as they would prefer face-to-face communication. With reference to our points above, customer who has internet services and have a total charge of more than or equal to $7,212.375 will not leave Singtel. As these customers are willing to spend quite a large sum of money on Singtel services, this meant that they are subscribed to a number of services in Singapore, including the internet services, and are very satisfied with them, therefore they will not leave. For observation 8, with reference to our points above, customers that have a total charge of more than $7,137 are very likely to leave Singtel. This may be because they might not be satisfied with Singtel internet services so far. Moreover, they feel that Singtel services are expensive and there are other cheaper and better telco services, therefore they would leave Singtel. And with reference for our ninth observation with reference to our points above, customers that have a total charge of more than $7,102.875 will not leave Singtel. This could be because they enjoy using Singtel services and are loyal customers to the company. For our 10th observation with reference to the points above, customers that have a total charge of less than $7,102.875 and have stayed with Singtel for more than 1.5 months are not so likely to leave. This may be because they are still new and trying out Singtel services. If they are satisfied with Singtel services, they will not be likely to leave. And with reference to all our points above, customers that stayed with Singtel for less than 1.5 months and have not contacted Singtel's tech support before are likely to leave. This could be because they are still trying out with Singtel services and are not very satisfied with it so far. Moreover, they have not used the tech support service before. Therefore, they might feel that Singtel services is not up to expectation and therefore are likely to leave. With reference to for our 12th observation with reference to our points above, customers that have stayed with Singtel for less than 1.5 months and have used the tech support before are not so likely to leave. This could be because they are new to Singtel and have been satisfied with their service. In addition, they felt that the tech support was helpful, therefore they intend to stay longer in the future and is not so likely to leave.
So here are some of the recommendations that we would like to make to the sales and marketing director. So the first recommendation is to provide incentives to consumers when they sign up for a new contract with Singtel. So by doing so, consumers who have not yet signed up a contract will be more inclined to sign up since they'll be able to gain more benefits. For example, Singtel can provide free 1 month of internet service for free 1 month of internet service for new customers who have just signed a contract with them. This is beneficial for both sides as the customer will have free internet service and Singtel can sign up for another contract. The next recommendation that I would suggest is to provide monthly promotions for customers who have subscribed. For example, every month Singtel can provide monthly free gift to their subscribers, such as free data roaming the last day of every month. Doing so will allow them to stay subscribed to Singtel as they will be able to receive benefits every month as long as they do not unsubscribe. And this will effectively increase their tenure and according to the analysis above, it will also prevent them from churning. Singtel can also place further emphasis that they have a technical support team. So the sales support should include that customers who have not contacted tech support are also unlikely to churn, and this could be because even though consumers who are facing problems, they are not aware that there is a technical support team that could provide aid. Therefore, when they could not solve the problem on their own, they decide to churn. Hence, the team could use it as a marketing strategy. They can include this in their promotional pictures, sliders, and posters on their website. So, for example, Santa can include pictures of their technical team for caption 24/7 technical support, which will increase the customers' awareness as they are more likely to approach the team whenever they are facing a problem, decreasing the likelihood of churning.